so you guys are in River Village, and you've just left the Fey Beast wine shop, or sorry, rice shop, and what do you want to do?
Well, we have to go prepare to assassinate the general, right?
Yeah, you had made arrangements with one of the local beggar or nature dwelling monk chiefs
Yeah.
in the area.
Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, yeah, Chief Zan, the River Village Maggot.
And
So,
I think he had a small encampment outside of the town.
Yeah,
And he
he
said he
did.
was going to get a hundred other beggars.
Yeah, I'm ready to go meet up with him and get this done. It should be easy.
All right.
Easy.
It should be easy. Famous last
Assassinating
words.
a general.
Why did you have to say that?
in his
For
own
me,
fort.
No, no. Adam.
yeah.
All right. So
He's a jinx.
So when you get there, Adam, he's up on a boulder, like rallying up the 100 beggars, and he's like waving a spear in the air.
All right. So I assume he's giving a speech, or is he just waving a spear around?
He's. I mean, a speech might be generous description of what he's doing.
He's rallying.
He's rallying people, and he's occasionally describing what he's going to do to the general, but then he'll take prolonged breaks to sort of ponder what he's going to say.
Okay. Yeah. Great. So, yeah, I'll go forward. It's like, when do we strike?
He says, "Now that you're here, we can leave immediately." He
Excellent.
says, I want to strike now, as I told you before."
I'd say, can we just wait for me to go to the toilet first? I've been walking for a while. I'm not there.
I'll just say, do we have a map of the area? Have you scouted it out?
I know the landscape. It's a small fortress town up on the hill.
Small fortress town up on the hill.
So do you have a copy of the map, Kenny?
I have the Tonglong, the general Fanshu map.
Do you see?
Yeah, it's Boulder Hill, right?
Well, it's sort of like it's not really Boulder Hill.
Okay.
Do you see? I don't know if it's on your map. Actually, let me send you this current map, because it's possible you guys might have an old one. So I'm sending it, and you'll see Flying Dragon Fortress. It's actually kind of at the base of Boulder Hill.
All right.
And it's on the other side of the canal.
Yeah, that's definitely a more up-to-date version of the map.
Let me update my thing then.
Yeah, I'm gonna update mine.
Copy.
Oh, nice.
Wait, that was exactly the same. Did I just upload a different thing? Oh, Flying Dragon Fortress. Okay, I see it. Yep. Interesting. And we're like 2 days march from there, so
Bless you.
and nobody has any idea what the layout inside the fortress is like.
Well, are you asking?
Well, I'll just call out to the crowd of beggars. Does anybody know what it's like inside the Flying Dragon Fortress?
One of them pipes up and says, "Of course not. They'd never let one of us in there."
Fair enough. That is a very good point.
One of them pipes up and goes, "Oh, I was holidaying there last year. Proper lovely spot it is."
I'll just say, in that case, I'll set out half a day ahead of you guys to see if I can scout out the Flying Dragon Fortress, and then we can make a proper plan of attack.
That makes sense.
All right, so you guys are gonna, are you guys gonna travel to that area of the map?
Yeah.
Do you think you can move faster than 100 beggars?
So how do you do sort of like traveling in groups and underwandering heroes? Really?
One person
so
can definitely
traveling in a
travel
group that
faster
big,
than 100, though.
If you're traveling in a group that big, you really don't have to worry about encounters. Do you know what I mean? But you're going slower. So
Unless it's an encounter with another army.
yeah,
Yeah.
or an earthquake or something that would affect people that big. But so what would be involved is, Kenny, you would make survival rolls on your own unless you were traveling with other people that might be able to help you, and they would just kind of progress there at a slower rate than you.
Yeah, I'd be going ahead by myself. So I don't know if Dafang and Ping want to join, or if they want to
come
stick
along
with
on
the
the scouting. Sure.
All right.
Alright.
So then you guys will be planning to rendezvous at some place outside of Dragon Fortress.
Yeah.
All right.
I
So
actually have a character sheet this week. So.
can I get a survival roll for the journey?
1 second.
I got a 10 at the highest.
All right. Okay. Can I get? So you make it fine the first day. Can I get another roll?
I got a 10 again.
All right. So you travel effortlessly through the foothills, and you cross the canal, and you can see Flying Dragon Fortress in the distance, and it looks. I mean, it looks like a city that's sort of formed around a military outpost, and it's got a fairly extensive wall system around it, and every gate at the wall has guards at tables, and it seems like they check everybody who comes through this place. And none of you guys are have a 0d10 detect or anything horrible like that, right? You guys are all pretty good.
Yeah.
I've got 3.
Yeah, I got 2.
So there's this is maybe like a community of 20,000 people.
Shit.
100 isn't looking so big anymore, but
20,000 people.
Well, we just needed the element of surprise.
And that's not including whatever military force is in there. That's just the residents.
20,000, man. Well, we only have to kill one of them, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So when you look at it that way, it's pretty easy.
So are there any so if we stay off the road, are there any sort of caravans coming along or anything?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a very busy community. You definitely see like a caravan every couple of hours.
Would it be possible for me to hide underneath one of them as they were going through?
Yes, but you do see that they periodically inspect the caravan, so you might be risking getting caught.
Yeah.
Once you're on the back of a tiger, you just can't get off.
Yeah.
I mean, the alternative is trying to scale our way inside at night. I mean,
I
that
think the
doesn't
real alternative is just burning the entire place to the ground. I vote you build a red mist inn, fill it with gunpowder.
Because we don't have proper paper. Our paperwork says that we are fucking exactly who we are, and that we are the murderers of Dao Shu. I think is our nickname at the moment.
And you saw that the wanted posters were very accurate at this point.
Shame none of
I
us
think
have.
I was around when
uh,
you mentioned back, because I dropped in on the end of the session, and you said that everybody's like posts were really updated.
Yeah.
They like minor details are a
Yeah.
little off, but the major ones are correct. But Adam, I don't think you're on the posters yet, right? You're still off
No,
of the
I'm
radar.
not. I'm still anonymous.
You could technically try to go in, but
Yeah.
I don't know if they're checking. Like, if they ask you why you're going in there, you must have a good story to tell. And I don't know if they let beggars inside the fortress. To be fair,
Yeah, I don't automatically have a great reason. I don't know if begging for alms is considered an appropriate reason. Probably not.
My brother's in there and he has money and invited me for a meal.
So who invited me, did you say, for a meal?
Your brother?
My brother?
Yeah, it could just be a sworn brother.
That's true. That's true.
Could be a brother by marriage.
All right.
or you could say that you were one of the beggars from Wuhan and maybe you're hoping to join the army or something because you're starving and you need money.
You could just walk in casually and say, "You're right, Reg, you're right, Phil," as you walk in. And if they try and stop you, go, "Hey guys, come on, no need to give me any hassle. I just passed through here earlier today."
Yeah, I was just inside. I just stepped out for a moment. I don't have my ticket on me. Yeah. Let's see.
I swear, I'm not trying to ride the train for free.
Yeah. I don't know if associating myself with Wuzen is a good tactic at the moment.
Yeah, this is the guy who just wiped out 70% of the population of Wuzen. So
yeah, they might think.
I reckon you should dress up like a sheep and try and get inside with like a flock.
There you go. Yeah.
That's the trick.
Yeah. So if we steal some sheep, that's step one of our plan. Now it's all coming
Then
together.
what we need is not only will there be you guys in sheep's clothing, but you'll have wolves as well. We'll get wolves and we'll put them in sheep's clothing, mix them amongst it, and they can be part of the ambush.
I like this. Yeah. Okay.
well,
This
and
is
there's a
going-
really good chance they'll stop once they get to the wolves. So you'll
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, that'll
Oh my
draw
God,
their
there are
attention
wolves
while
in with
they're-
my sheep. Oh no!
Yeah, they'll be like, "Oh, these sheep are wolves," and while they're freaking out, we'll just walk in. And they'll be
Yeah.
distracted.
You guys will like lose the sheep costumes, right? You'll be in black turtlenecks, and you'll just like slip in.
Let's see. So when I get in there, am I just scouting around, or is there anything you guys want me in particular to achieve too before we get too deep into me getting in there and thinking, why am I in here?
Kill all of them.
Kill all of
Scouting
them.
around is the main
I
thing.
established we only need to
mission.
kill one of them. We only need to kill one of them.
You've been given a
Easy
slip
job.
of paper with orders from the leader, and it says "kill everybody."
Yeah.
Like start thinking to yourself, "What about Daofang? Yeah, and Wu Ji?" And you look at the orders, and you realise the orders are absolute, and it says "kill everybody."
Well,
I assume that means the entire world. So
my hands are
Including
tired.
the leaders,
Including yourself.
right?
Yeah, I'm the least equipped in the group to actually kill everyone, I think. But
who do you think is the most equipped? I reckon it's probably Wu Ji.
I don't know.
I think Dalfan and I are technically capable of killing swaths of people with our poison if we have the right poison.
That's true.
I mean, my sword whipping strike is much more readily available than poison bear, and it can take out large amounts of people.
And it has hacked two Yao to pieces before as well. So
Yeah, my spearing blade screw people up.
So I guess we want to go in and see, and you can try and find out like where the general's quarters are and how their defenses are, maybe.
Yeah.
Important thing is probably knowing where the sentries and patrols are posted.
All right. So yeah, I'll try and figure out where he is. Let's see.
Do you have survival cities?
Yes, I do.
Okay, that's good.
All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. It's been 15 minutes, so I'm gonna switch to Elliot, and you can think about what you're gonna do to get into the city or any of that stuff, and then we'll switch back to you guys. All right, so Elliot, you are on Snake Peak, and one of the defining traits of Snake Peak is its abundance of snakes. Its unnerving quantity of these creatures.
Oh, I'd actually be quite happy.
Okay, that's fine.
Could I be using my I've got a talent in brewing. Can I be brewing snake wine?
No, so here's the thing. Paige Yu, she adores her snakes, and this is very obvious to you as soon as when you see her, because so.
What about any old snakes that have deceased?
Well, let me just explain to you what happens when you get there. When you get there, the floor of the hill is literally crawling with snakes, and they part as she approaches, and she'll occasionally pick them up and just sort of tenderly pet them. So you can feel out that situation however you want and do whatever you want, but you suspect she's very affectionate to all the snakes on the peak.
Okay. Well, give me just 1 second to check something out, just to see if I can validly make this request of her then.
Okay, and you are with Saffron Tigress and Queen Luigi as well.
Okay.
Oh, and
am I still...
is with them, right?
Oh, sorry?
Was Fan Batu with them as well?
Yes. And that's what I'm saying, like, for Boris Drunken Sword's sake, I think you can...
Am I still injured? Sorry.
So you're just getting there to be healed at this point.
Sure.
Yeah, as I was saying, like, you can probably make wine out of the venom of snakes anyway, so you could ask her for some snake venom to try and make a wine out of it.
I was just looking that up, and usually snake venom wine is made with a whole snake. I believe that different parts of a snake's bodies are obviously going to have antibodies towards the venom. So I think that's actually a part of the process. If you just have alcohol with snake venom, even if it's fermented, I think the snake venom is still just poisonous inside of it.
You just have to add the right herbs. You just need someone with a decent amount of poison skill.
And
oh shit, but I've lost both of them. God damn it, guys. Didn't you think that you'd be more useful brewing wine with me than, trying to take out generals and stuff?
And and a minor detail that might be important is Fan Batu has a retinue of about 6 guys that carry his seismometer for him. So, and he's really tall. He's like a very, very tall man. But when you get there, she brings you to her cave, and everybody goes in. And
how have they been in interacting with me? Have they been disdainful or?
No, everybody's been respectful of you because you.
Even Saffron Tigress now.
Yeah, Saffron. Yeah, because I don't know if you remember, but just before you had your schedule changed, you had made that proclamation about wanting to fight the Emperor. And and she shifted her opinion of you dramatically in that moment. And so since then she's held you in very high regard. From where you're standing, that's at least what it looks like. And so Paige Yu first, she says, "I'm going to heal Boris Drunken Sword, and then we will convene a meeting." And
thank you very much. But do you have any wine?
She nods, and she goes over to one of her walls, and she brings out a sort of like a ball-shaped gourd of wine, and throws it to you. And
thank you very much.
Drink this all at once.
I do. I chug down the whole thing.
All right.
Licking my lips afterwards and sticking my tongue inside of a gourd to try and get any residual drops.
Okay, so number one, you get very drunk from this, and it's a very smooth, sweet wine, and you regain all of your health, and any imbalance points that you had go away.
Epic.
And the imbalance as well.
Yep.
What about his chi spirit?
Oh, that's right. Oh. All right, I forgot all about that because I
haven't been cured of that yet. In fact, if it's been so long, has it like taken part of me like forever?
Well, you weren't here to really manage this, so
I don't mind if that is how it's gone, because I imagined it was a very hectic situation anyways. So like
That explains why you've been acting weird these past couple of days. Is because the cheese spirit.
yeah, I'm
so
not being quite
so-
as obnoxious as normal.
So you haven't been taken over completely, but she's probably the if I forget if it was a he or she, but the spirit is probably in
It's
charge.
she.
Yeah, so she's probably sort of controlling you at this point.
Okay, I think like the wine is part of Boris Drunken Sword's baser instincts and his body's like cravings for anything that will not change the natural balance that it's managed to form now since the first time that Boris Drunken Sword discovered alcohol. But the characteristics will obviously be more controlled by this she spirit, of course.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll thank her very much for the wine and say this is really good stuff.
Okay, and she looks at you and she says, "Please sit down."
I do.
All right, and I'm just looking up the technique here. What's the technique that gets rid of the cheese spirits? Does anybody remember?
Oh,
I want to see.
Is it something to do with phoenixes, or that's phoenix spirit imbalance?
Yeah, that's a different one. Just give me 1 second. I apologize.
No worries.
that's made me realize I don't have any of my stuff open either.
I've got my character sheet and the rule book open, so I'm good.
I think it's a Dion technique.
Yeah,
I love having 3 monitors for
Or
this.
Neigong. Dianshou or Neigong.
It is. It might be a Nigong technique. I think it is. I think it is Nigong.
Neigong sounds more likely than Danshu, because Danshu
Purge Spirit, probably. Oh.
That's it. It's Purge Spirit. Let me see if she has it.
That's a really low rank. I could technically learn this skill just
Yeah,
for all the
it's-
fucking times that fucking Boris Johnson sword.
It's an easy
Not just
technique,
me,
but
other
nobody ever
people.
takes it because it's not like, you don't kill people with it. So,
That's what poison's for. I don't need techniques to kill people.
that's interesting. All right, let me see.
Meditation, TN6. I have 0 in meditation.
All right, so
I've got 0 in meditation.
all right, so for the time
Steve,
being,
you said-
Elliot, you are controlled by this chi spirit.
Yeah.
And
But I'm very compassionate towards human life.
So
So I think I consciously know that my presence inside of his body is disruptive towards Boris Drunken Sword's life. But I hope that he might be able to gain wisdom on the insights towards life that he's gained from myself occupying his body. So I willingly sit down and allow myself to be purged so as Boris Drunken Sword can carry on living his life as the compassionate being that I am.
So after you sit down, all of the other heroes come inside. And do you guys remember what the tactic was that they settled upon?
Semba to the Hyanese army, and that was basically all we had.
And wasn't Fan Batu going to bring in his Kailin men too?
That was up for debate because sketch as fuck. Because we don't know. When we were discussing that, Pei Xin Yu was like, "Oh, we should have a war council so you can make proper decisions on these sorts of things."
Okay.
So I don't think we actually had like an overall tactic for now. The only sort of actions ongoing at the moment are turning generals, and we wanted to kill her ex-husband.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Oh yeah, I totally forgotten about that.
All right. So
Why do we want to kill our ex-husband?
he's a bad guy.
Okay.
So Pei Xin Yu looks at you and she says, "You are not a member of the War Council." She says, "I'm going to give you another one of the another gourd of Python wine, and you're to take it and rejoin your companions. But I want you to bring a message to a physician in the area for me."
And what is that message?
She says, it'll be delivered in a sealed container.
Okay, that is fine.
She says, I need you to go to Sima Hao in Chung'an.
Sima Hao. The name seems familiar.
You know who... your Boris Drunken Sword definitely knows who Sima
Boris
Hao is.
Drunken Sword knows, but
Yeah.
I'm controlled by the chi spirit now, so I imagine
Yeah.
that'd be like some
She
kind
says he is a skilled physician in Tungon, and she hands
I
you
see.
like a bamboo canister that's sealed, and she says, "Just take this message to him."
I put it away. Do I have any other wine apart from the Python wine?
I think you had some gourds of sorghum wine, if I recall.
I usually keep myself.
You've always
stocked.
been restocked up with Sorghum wine.
I don't think there's been a moment that you haven't had wine on you.
Exactly.
It's a question of the quality, I think, more than the.
It's always been a question of equality, yeah. No matter what, he will drink wine. Like, even if it's fucking recycled from piss, he would drink wine. But I suppose, yep, I'll agree to that and stuff. And I'll go, thank you for healing me.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, actually, it'd be better if she interjects, actually.
Oh, okay. So she says, of course. She says you performed admirably at the duel.
Well, I just was called up and put in a good effort. Not sure if it was my best, but when can you ask for it? And on the battlefield, your best is only what you can put out at the time.
And what's your empathy?
I've actually got 1d10 in empathy.
Okay, all right.
I've got one in all of the mental secondary skills.
All right, so you see Van Batu rolling his eyes when you're talking.
I look at him pointedly, and I go, I mean, we could have another go if you wanted to.
He says, no, you've just healed. I wouldn't want to waste one of her healing concoctions.
Maybe after I've done my mission then, when I'm not desperately needed back in the battlefield again. God, the thrill of being in the battlefield. I'll tell you what, it does beat being stuck in stuffy war council room meetings like this. I'm so jealous of my brothers who are able to serve on the fields fighting.
He says, when you get back, you and I will see that you get plenty of fighting.
I'll actually, I'll smirk at that, and I'll go to shake his hand. First time I've ever done it.
Are you deliberate? Are you shaking hands because it's a foreign practice, or are you intending to bow or something like that?
I'm intending to shake hands as maybe like a foreign practice. I was from like a kind of a smaller kind of like village and stuff, like almost like a tribe. But as a sign to like show that we will have another duel in the future.
Okay, all right. So he shakes your hand.
Cool.
And all right. So what do you want to do after that?
After that, I guess I'll probably start making my way to Tongan.
Okay, and as you're leaving, Fan Batu says, "Do you want me to send one of my retainers to make sure you don't get lost in the woods?"
I'm pretty good at navigating the woods, to be honest. But perhaps having a second person, just in case anything goes tits up, would be good.
So he looks at his men, and he motions to one of them, and the man joins you.
Can I do empathy to see if this guy is going to try and kill me?
Yeah, you can sort of size him up. He looks pretty eager to help you, and
Okay.
And he introduces himself. He says, "My name is Charon."
Sharon,
And he bows to you.
I'm Boris Drunken Sword.
He says, "I will accompany you, sir."
Excellent. Let's make haste.
All right, so you leave with Charon.
Yeah. Do you want me to roll a survival?
Can you? And I just want to write Charon's name down so I don't lose it.
I am drunk at this point because I drank that snake wine.
Oh yeah. So that's like a stage of drunkenness. And
One
that
stage
was
of drunkenness.
Python wine was the name of it.
Python.
If you needed again.
Okay. So 2d10. I got an 8 at the highest.
All right, and so where are you heading to on the map?
Tongue on.
All right, so you're going to go straight for Tungon from where you are?
Yeah.
All right, so it's...
Let me just gather exactly where I am. It's... Where's the...
I know where you are. You're like right by fan. See where it says fan on the map, like at the bottom. That's like literally where you are.
Oh, okay. I see.
So
then, I'm probably going to want to try and avoid Mychin.
Okay, so you're just going to go through the wilderness as you're walking.
Yeah. I'll go through the wilderness.
Can I get another roll for the second day?
Sure. I'll be drinking sorghum wine, but I'll wait until I've gotten like a bit into my, adventuring before doing that. So should I do 3d10?
Yep.
Good thing I did. I got an 8.
All right, and give me another roll.
I got an 8 again.
All right, so you make it to Tungon, and I'm going to switch over to them.
Sure.
But also, you're caught up on the timeline, I think. So you guys are all on the same time period now. Just give me 1 second, guys. I just got to do something really quick.
Yep. Do you mind if I just take 5 minutes just to make myself a ready meal?
Yeah.
That's totally fine. Totally fine.
Excellent. I'll be back soon.
So, Adam, what's our plan of attack here?
Yeah, good planning time. Let's see.
I was hoping we could try and get this resolved without losing the lives of 100 beggars.
Yeah, that would be better. Not as exciting, but I suppose better. Yeah, I mean, given the tactical situation here, if they've got 20,000 men, I think not using any of them is better than using any of them, because 100 people is too many to be sneaky, and it's not enough to be open attack.
The alternative is to wait for the general to exit the fortress and lay an ambush.
That's a possibility. Of course, if he heads out, he'll probably be heading out with his men, I'm guessing. There was a decent chance of that.
We could... you could say that you had news of the killers of Dao Shu. They were last sighted near River Village. And see if the general himself makes like a move to go catch them.
Yeah. Okay. That's not a bad idea.
Failing that, like if ambushing is still too risky with only 100 people, we could try and find out where he lives and try to assassinate him.
Yeah.
Poison. Like I have plenty of poisons that would work, but that would involve being able to get close enough to apply it.
Yeah. Let's see. What is my stealth? I've got an 8 stealth. Let's see.
So Adam, just to clarify those numbers too, because you knew this from your intelligence network last time. They have 20,000 people in that town probably, but he has about 40,000 soldiers in his in his central military outpost within the city.
Okay.
He's in command of about 40,000 troops, and they're probably not all there at once. They're probably out on various patrols and scattered, but if need be, he is in command of 40,000 men.
Okay. The one downside to the plan of saying we have information on where the killers are is just if it results in him going and burning the town down. That would be a problem. I'd hate to get another town burned down as a diversion.
I feel like if they tried to burn River Village down, the Celestial Masters would definitely be swayed to our side at that point.
It's a worthy
Luigi
sacrifice.
wouldn't like say this, but he would keep it in the back of his mind that if River Village were burned down, it would make it easier to gather particular allies.
I see.
They control the spice, so.
Yeah.
They must therefore have like their own like strong martial heroes who are addicted to their celestial plume and stuff.
All right.
But yeah, so assassination is basically what we're going to do. Is just how we're going to assassinate. We're either going to infiltrate or we're going to lure into an ambush.
Okay.
Would generals like act? I assume they wouldn't just go, "Oh no, there's a bunch of killers." They're not going to like lead an army to capture them, are they?
No, but clearly, normally no, but obviously he was placed in special command of getting of doing something about you guys, because you're.
He did lead troops personally towards Wuzhen, right?
Yeah, he personally led that attack.
What you could do is you could go in there and like just see like I've got information on the killers of Dao Shu. Ask for a reward of some sort.
Yeah. So where should I point them? Point them to River Village, or where do we want
to?
I don't think I want to point them to River Village. That's not going to.
Yeah.
It's like the maggot's an ally of mine. I don't think pointing the soldiers at his hometown is going to do well for our alliance.
Why not point them towards my chun?
Towards my chun?
That's Lady 87's territory.
Okay.
I mean, they cut ties with us. We don't know anything.
Where was the shady nature deadening monk? There was that one guy not to trust, right?
Oh yeah. Oh hey, that's an idea. Yeah, I got his name right here. Chief Fong of Gu District.
Where's Gu District?
Gu District is number 1 on the map. So,
okay, yeah.
Zhuyishi and Henshi Temple, that area.
So Zhuyishi would be the place to point them. That's a long way.
Is that technically in his domain still? Like,
yeah, he's the general in charge of all of this
Fanshu.
So technically, there are patrolling military inspectors who are in charge of individual districts, but he's in charge of the actual army in this province.
Yeah.
And he can do things like take over the military patrolling inspectors men and things like that.
Okay, so the question is, let's think about the plausibility of this story.
Yeah, because you wouldn't be able to like travel. That's like 4 or 5 days of journeying to get to Flying Dragon Fortress to report on someone who may or may not be there anymore, and they'll probably dismiss that news. So we'd need somewhere close by and believable, like Maichun or wherever.
Yeah, I think Maichun might be the way to go.
Do we hate Lady 87, Alpha? Do we care? Like, do we want to say that the 87 killers are harboring the killers of Dao Shu?
I mean, it's not technically a lie. I mean, we haven't officially left.
Yeah, I like this story more and more. It's got a lot of truth to it.
But is there a place between the Flying Dragon Fortress and Maichun where we could ambush them, like based on our knowledge of?
Well, yeah, that's the other question.
Like they have to cross the. Is there a canal there?
There's a canal there. There's a canal.
There
They
is a
either
canal
cross
there.
by foot, or they might even take the canal.
So what were you
It-
doing? What were you specifically doing? I need specificity here.
You need a boorish drunken sword on your side, is what you need.
Well, I do need that too, but not on this side of the operation, on the ambush side, not on the going in and you know giving the false story. But yeah, I want like what would you? Okay, so it's like I know you're dealing with the 87 killers. What are you actually doing with them is the question. It's like, what did I see? What am I reporting? Like, I just want to have. I just want to have that little specificity to the lie to make it more convincing.
I hope I don't have to kill my wife.
You have to kill your wife.
No, I said I hope I don't have to kill my
Oh,
wife.
you don't have to kill your wife. Okay. Oh, is she in the 87 killers?
Yeah. I hope I can
Really,
kill my
really high
brother.
up in there.
I hope I can kill my brother.
Okay.
Yeah, he is the grandson-in-law of Lady 87.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
So,
That was a really funny angle to roleplay as well.
So
in that case, we could just say that they were at the Temple of Ageless Wisdom. Boris Drunken Sword was heavily wounded. Or some drunk guy who looked like the guy in the poster was really heavily wounded, and his companions had lost a leg, and they
Yeah,
were
that's-
trying to recover.
okay.
Or something.
Oh, so you're not gonna direct them to the 87 killers. You're gonna direct them to the Age of the.
I don't know. Like,
What's the Temple of Ageless Wisdom then? What's the deal with it?
I don't actually know. Do we know anything about the Temple of Ageless Wisdom?
I don't
They
know.
were, I remember, like, they did news brokers, right? I remember rolling really high for a check for this once upon a time. Were they the people who sold news by information brokers?
No, the Temple of Ageless Wisdom is a strange place. Like from where all you've probably heard is that they're like a bunch of mystics, and they supposedly can communicate with the underworld, like the literal underworld, not like the criminal underworld, but like they have some line of communication with the afterlife.
I don't want to piss them off. I'd rather go after someone innocent like the 87 killers. Pick a target.
Well, it's up to you what location you choose ultimately.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I like the idea though of you guys being wounded, emphasizing that, because that makes it more likely you won't be moving.
You could always say, like, they were
It's
carrying
also
their...
near Wujian too, so it's somewhere you could turn up after having fled Wujian.
Yeah.
So what were you gonna say though, Kenny? Did you have a thought?
No,
there?
so yeah, we have like two forcible plans here. One is to infiltrate, one is to lure them out. If we lure them out, we can say my turn, and you can say that you saw Boris Drunken Sword walking in the street, asking, like, loudly demanding wine, and being held back by a one-legged Dao Feng who, trying to pull him back into into hiding, type of thing.
I like the idea of drunken Boris Sword being so drunk the one-legged man has to hold him steady. He's the support for him. But okay. That works. I think that's their story, and that works. I don't want to get too specific, like I know too much. So, all right.
So what are you going to be doing, Adam?
I'm going to go to the gate, and I'm going to say that I have information.
Okay, so there's two soldiers at a. They actually have a table and a book out, and and they're you know that there's the two other soldiers that are just standing at attention right before the gate, and they look at you as you approach.
I'm here to provide information.
They look at each other, and one of them looks back at you, and he says, "Information about what?"
Killers of Daoju. I've seen them.
All right, what do you know?
Is there a reward?
For information, if we confirm what you tell us, then we'll give you a reward.
Okay. Okay, good. Then in that case, I've seen them in my tune. There's a drunk one. He was very loud, very, very obnoxious person. And he had a man with him who was helping him stay up. He was very drunk, as I said. He was a one-legged man. And there was another one with them, too, who just looked embarrassed to be seen with them. But he was the ones from the posters.
So one of them gets up, and he looks at you. He says, "You have any weapons on you?
No.
Do you have papers?"
I believe I have papers. Yeah.
Yeah, you probably have. I mean, unless stated otherwise, you would have papers that confirm who you are. Basically, is that what you would want to be carrying with you, or would you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or do you want to show them as a thing, or are you a beggar who's lost all his papers?
Yeah, actually, I won't have my papers. No, I don't have papers.
He just shakes his head and says, "Typical," and he says, "Well, come with us.
Okay.
We're gonna give you an
I'll go
audience."
along with them.
And they two of them take you inside, and they lead you through the streets. And this is like a bustling community. You see all kinds of inns and restaurants and musicians everywhere, and just like entertainment pavilions and food stalls. And the central hall that the general is in is up on a huge peak in the center of town, and there's like a winding road leading up it. And all along that road are more pavilions and vendor stalls. And he eventually takes you into a large encampment and into a great hall, and there's a man sort of leaning up on a king, and he has it's a whole reception area where there's a lot of sort of people being performing music and things like this, and they announce you. What name do you give them?
I'll go with Ling.
Ling. They say, "This man Ling has information pertaining to the killers of Daoju." And the man sort of startles and gets up, and he looks at you very intently, and he says, "Tell me what you know."
I saw them in my tune. It was late at night. The taverns were closed, and there was a angry drunk one who was trying to get into a tavern that was closed. He didn't seem to understand that it was closed, and he had a fellow with him with one leg that was supporting him, and there was a third one as well. They were the ones from the posters, I'm sure of it.
When did you see them?
This was 2 nights ago.
And very well. This is useful information. You're not lying, are you?
I am not lying.
He nods, and he one of his men brings out 2 golden tails and hands them to you. And
Okay.
And he says, "If you can bring more information like that in the future, there's more gold for you."
Thank you, sir.
He says, "But if you ever lie to me, I'll have you beheaded."
That's fair. All right, I'm going to get out of there as quickly as I can.
Okay. All right, and they let you leave. It seems to have worked.
All right. Wow. Okay, so yeah, I'll head back, meet with the others, and okay, so I guess we prepare for an ambush.
Yep, see if we can find an ambush on the main road between Maichin and Flying Dragon Fortress.
Okay.
All right, so you want to look for an ambush point?
Yeah,
Mhm.
so we'll see if we can like meet up with because I'm guessing it's about time for
Yeah.
the other guy to catch up.
So yeah, yeah, because you guys were ahead. So yeah, they eventually show up, and they've been walking, and he's in the lead, and he sort of marches up to you, and he plants his spear in the ground, and he says, "Are we ready?"
Yes, we have news that the general will be leaving the fortress in the we probably will be leaving the fortress in the next couple of days. So we should find a place and set up an ambush and slay him.
He looks a little bit confused, and he says, "Where are we going to do an ambush?"
He'll be going to Mai Chun if when he leaves. So uh,
We told him
let's
to kill
find
us
some
without Shu are there.
let's find some hills and hide. And we'll scout ahead and we'll bring word when the general is marching.
He says, "Well, between Mai Chun and Gao Chun, there's some hills and some woods. We could lay a trap there."
Yes, that'll be good. And I guess meanwhile, we can. I will stay near the Flying Dragon Fortress. As soon as they make any large motions, I will rush to meet with you guys.
Hmm.
And Ping and Dafeng can come along. Just
All right. So what are you doing exactly?
so we're gonna sort of stay roughly near Flying Dragon Fortress, so that when they leave, if anyone leaves, um,
You can rush ahead and tip off the
yeah,
ambushes.
yeah.
Okay.
So I guess the rest of the time we'll just sort of pass him waiting
And
to
so
see if he leaves.
who's going to the ambush site?
It's just gonna be the beggars.
Okay. All right. All right. So they're gonna go and get into position, and I'm gonna go to Elliot now, and then I'll come back to you guys in 15 minutes. All right. So Elliot, you're in Tungon, and
Okay.
do you want to go to Sima Hao or do you want to go somewhere else?
I'll restock my wine and then go to see Mahal.
All right. So as you're walking, as you're walking through the city, you see wanted posters all over the place with your likeness on them.
Cool. I trip over my feet and like immediately face plant into the mud on the floor.
Okay. All right. So you coat yourself in mud. Do you have deception or disguise by any chance?
I do have one in deception. I'll just check for disguise, but I don't think I've got any in that.
That's a talent.
No, I don't have any in disguise, but I do have 1d10 in deception.
All right. All right. I made the roll for that one. And all right. So, you can find Sima Hao pretty quickly. You know where he is.
Yeah. So I'm going around with like some dirt and stuff all on my face, making me look dirty and, skewing me a bit, and I try and find Sima Hao.
All right. So, he's in there, moving around herbs and stuff. And he looks over at you and he says, "Can I help you?" He doesn't seem to recognize you.
I walk up to him and I hand over like a bamboo scroll.
He looks at you and he opens up the scroll and he pulls out a message and he reads it. And can you make a detect roll for me?
Yep, I've got 2d10s, so I'll roll that. Oh, my diddy die fell off the desk. It rolled a 2 on the floor, so that's good. Oh, I got an 8.
All right, so you do not see this happening. He does like a 3-point touch and paralyzes you.
Okay.
And then he sits you down on the floor and he begins performing Purge Spirit on you.
Okay. I'll relax and let it happen.
And let's see here. I just want to see if there's a role for this meditation. All right. What's his meditation?
Meditation TN6, I believe it is.
Yeah. All right. All right. So he sits down and he flows chi energy into you in a meditative posture, and the let's see. Success. All right. So the spirit is completely purged from your body as this chi energy just courses through your meridians, and you are exhausted. It's like weariness you've never experienced before, and you.
I had to feel compassion for things. It was hard.
And he untaps your meridians so you can move, and he says, "Sorry that I had to paralyze you, but it was a requirement."
Don't worry about it, mate. It's fine. Thanks for getting rid of that thing for me. Oh, god damn. That was tedious, you know?
He says, "You are a wanted man. I should give you a disguise."
Ah, thanks. That'd be very kind. I won't be sticking around here long.
He goes into the back and he comes out and he gives you it is almost like a Yen Li priest outfit. Like you have like the hat and the yellow robes and it's definitely not what people would expect with Boris Drunken Sword.
Okay. I'll pass him over to Silver Tails and I'll say, "Thank you very much. I appreciate it."
He says, "Of course." He says, "No problem at all."
If you have any wine that I could bring with me on my way, I've been travelling through the wilderness and I've run out. I won't drink it in the city. I won't break my disguise.
He says, "I have some plum wine."
That would be fantastic. Even cheap sorghum wine would do me.
All right. He hands you a porcelain container with a stopper.
I thank him profusely.
And he says, "Safe travels."
Thank you. Good business to you. And I'll leave. And then as I'm leaving,
on your way out, he says, "Be sure to tell Pei Xin Yu that I did as she asked."
I'll do so. I nod as I leave. And like as I exit the door, like after getting changed, I kind of like shudder. Like, why was I nice?
Yeah, you probably have all these horrific memories of being very tender and compassionate to people.
Yeah. Like,
Also, FYI, Elliot, you have 4 tails extra to what you have.
oh, sick. So that puts me to 17 now. Nice. That's lovely. I like getting more money. It means I can buy more wine.
We didn't know how much you had, but we found some money and we split it, and then we spent any money we spent went from that pool. It would have been 5 tails what we spent some.
There.
All right. So
Well, money gets spent, doesn't it?
So where would you like to go, Elliot?
Where did they say they were going to be?
Where did you guys tell him to meet you?
We didn't.
Yeah, he was unconscious when we left.
So here we go.
But I assume that I would have been told by Pei.
Yeah, Patient you would have mentioned that we were looking for the generals in the region, and the one general in the region is based at Flying Dragon Fortress.
Okay, yeah. So that would have been your destination then.
Okay, so Flying Dragon Fortress. Okay, so I kind of like skipped past that before, so now I'm backtracking on myself.
All right.
I wonder. I feel as if it might be actually an interesting thing for Boris Drunken Sword to try and bring in another force of people to like doing the Flying Dragon Fortress or whatever. If anything happens there, like Boris Drunken Sword could heroically appear with all these people. Or Boris Drunken Sword could just turn up by himself and then find out that everybody's moved away from there. And then
you do have friends along the way. You have Cloud Manor in Hiyun, and you do have the Long Mahal people that you kind of know.
Actually, yeah, this would be fucking perfect. I'm gonna pass through Heian and Longmar Hall, and I'm gonna try and recruit them. Whilst also trying to like quell some of the enmity that has been bred before, and I'll go before them like with my scalp like revealed, like not underneath a hat or anything like that.
All right.
This chi spirit, it's done a job on Boris Drunken Sword.
All right. So where are you going first?
So I'll go to Heian first because it's closer to Tungon than Longmar Hall is.
All right. So can you give me a
Survival
roll?
Yeah, I'll go through the wilderness to it. I got a 9.
All right. So you make it to Heian.
Okay.
And did you want to go to Blue Cloud Manor?
I do indeed.
All right. So you get to Blue Cloud Manor and Li Shen greets you. She's the woman that's sort of like his apprentice, and she says, "Greetings, Boris Drunken Sword."
Greetings. I've come here to request your Blue Cloud Manor's aid.
She says, "Right this way," and
I'll follow that.
she leads you into the garden, and
Also, just as a reminder for you, Brendan, the remains of Sun Mai are still on the.
I know. But she takes you to a garden where Gao Kang is just examining one of his trees.
I'll come before him, and I'll drink some of my wine, like whilst waiting for him to address me or anything like that. But I won't like make any noise or anything like that. I'll be that respectful.
He says, "To what do I owe the pleasure?"
It's not often people have said it's a pleasure, but I'm on a mission. As you probably know, myself and my friends are now very, very wanted men.
He says, "Yes, I've heard this. The posters are everywhere. Did you hear about Wu
Yes.
Zhen?"
Is Wu Zhen the general?
Wu Zhen is the city that the general destroyed.
Yeah. I'll go. This is in relation to that, yes.
You don't know anything about Wu Zhen yet. I think it was a very recent thing. So.
Oh, okay. In which case, I'll go. I'm not sure about Wu Zhen. What I do know is that we have an alliance has been formed with the intention of striking at the Empire. For too long have they been breeding Yao and consolidating their power and stepping down on the common folk. We need to release their throttle from this part of the world. And so we've been dispatched to take out a general. I'm going to reconvene with my friends, but I assume they would need all the martial help that they can get and muster. So I've come here to humbly request of you to follow me.
He says, "A few days ago, General Jinzai wiped out most of the population of Wu Zhen because they thought that the city had protected you."
I'll look really, really somber at this point, and but Boris Drunken Sword's gonna have to come to terms with a feeling of guilt, which I don't think he's ever comprehended before.
I mean, guilt is not something that I associate with Boris Drunken Sword.
Well, I mean, this is the scars left behind by the chi spirit of compassion, right? Because like something inside of Boris Drunken Sword is making him feel deeply, deeply saddened and responsible for the deaths of all that populace. And I think, like, unrealized by him, he might start crying a little bit and then be really, really embarrassed about it.
So he says, "I will go with you." He says, "We will join you. This was a despicable crime committed by the general."
I will personally kill him.
He nods. He says, "When do you wish to leave?"
We leave immediately. We are also going to Longmar Hall. I have had great enmity with them in the past, much of it caused by myself in retaliation, and I feel as if it is time for us to bury that enmity, if even only for a temporary part-on bear manner if they feel I've aggressed them too much, for we are at greater threat here.
He nods and he says, "Let's leave then."
Excellent. I'll leave them off to Longmar.
Can I get a roll for the journey there?
Yep. No problem. I got an 8.
All right. Okay, and one more roll.
Mm-hmm. I got an 8 again.
All right. Okay, so you're going to get there, but I'm going to switch back to them.
Sure, no problem.
All right, so you guys are outside of Flying Dragon Fortress, and the gates open up, and an army leaves the gates on horseback. And can you guys make detect rolls? I just want to see if you can estimate the number of men.
3d10 for sight. Oh, good. I got an 8 at the highest.
I got an 8 too.
All right.
I got an 8 as well.
All right. Oh, right. So you guys all arrive at the same number. You think there's about 15,000 soldiers leaving this?
Jesus Christ! They really want to kill us.
Okay. Well,
Guys.
at least now's a good time to attack the fortress.
But the thing is, like, my turn is like more than a day's journey away, so they have to camp, right?
Yep.
Unless like they, so if they set up camp at any point, then that's when we can sneak in and assassinate the general, in theory.
All right. So they start heading towards the canal and in the direction of my tune. What do you want to do?
We're gonna rush forwards. Towards the beggars to tell them that. Actually, no. Do we want to tell them, or do you want to try and like sort it out as quietly as possible?
Sort what out as quietly as possible.
Like, because if they have to set up camp, then like sneaking into a camp at night is significantly easier than trying to ambush 15,000 people with 100.
That's true. That's true.
103.
103. Or is it 104 if we count the... we have a purple... We have a copper... We have Bronze Master with us as well. So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Bronze Master's with you.
Well, let's take him head on. Okay. Yeah, no, I think you've got a good point that sneaking into the camp would be the easiest way. So who amongst us is the least sneaky? I've got a stealth of 8. I don't know. What's everyone else's stealth?
Mine's 8.
Mine's at 10.
You're at 10.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. What was yours, Steve?
8.
8. Okay.
How's Bronze Master's chink on?
Let me see.
Or stealth, I guess, would be more relevant.
Yeah, I was just thinking from the standpoint of, more people with stealth isn't always the best thing. So I was thinking maybe one of us could go ahead and warn the beggars, and the others could sneak into the camp. But
Bronze Master says, "I can go warn the beggars. I'm not much used to you sneaking into a camp."
That works perfectly. Yeah.
Sure. We will try to... maybe Ping should also sit this one out because your face is still not known, and that's been a crucial factor in us being able to get more information.
Okay. I'll go along
unless you
and
could
meet
like
up with
mask
beggars.
yourself and like change your weapon or something. Like,
Yeah, I don't know if I have any particular affinity with any other kind of weapon, so that's not a good option.
medium melee.
No, I'm not.
What's a
not
stick
much good
then?
at
Is a
that.
stick its own thing?
Stick's light melee.
Oh, is it light? Okay.
Mhm.
Technically, I could give you a dagger, and you just wouldn't have any techniques to use with it.
Yeah, exactly. I'd have some defensive techniques like whirling dodge and stuff, but I wouldn't have any good offensive techniques. But yeah, I don't mind going ahead and warning the beggars. It's probably best if I go anyway, since I'm the one that's got a connection with them.
Okay.
In that way, because I just want to give them a heads up just in case, it's just so that they're ready as a backup.
So Bronze Master says I can go with you.
Okay. So we'll go get the beggars ready for the backup attack in case this sneaking into camp plan doesn't go well.
All right, Dafang. You and I sneaking into a camp of 15,000 people. Will we make it?
All right. So, so Adam, why don't you give me your roll to get to the camp, and
Sure.
and you guys give me your survival roll just to follow the soldiers.
Oh, I got a 9.
Go, Kenny.
I
Roll.
got a 9. I got 3 9s. This is
Alright.
what we're gonna need after this expedition: is an ambulance for us.
So they're traveling very slowly, but along the way they stop like right before Gaochun, in the canal area, and the general goes to greet some officials that are on some very large ships, and then and that takes about an hour, and then they resume their journey, and then they actually camp outside of Gaochun.
Okay.
And they, I mean, it's a military style camp, so they're pretty organized, and there's 15,000 men in it.
Any chance I can catch like a couple of like I get patrols off guard or something and like steal their armor?
Yeah, they do have patrols, and they and so why don't you? So you just want to wait? You just want to try to find some that are wandering off the on their patrol and away from the camp.
Yeah.
All right, you're pretty experienced at this point, so
Where was I? Yeah, sure.
you've been doing stuff like this, haven't you?
Yeah. But,
Actually, you know what? Hold on, I've got a little cool mechanic for this one.
Kenny, I believe a good way to put it is that you've sabotaged stuff before, and if anybody's a good saboteur in our party, you would be the person who fits into that role as Wuji. And also as many other characters you've played, Red Mist in,
It just always seems necessary for one person to do sneaky things.
Yeah, it's a valuable skill.
Oh, hold on 1 second, guys. Hold on 1 second.
No worries.
Oh man.
Hey, Kenny. So I picked up some new techniques, and I want to see how cheeky I can be with them. Because I got Phantom Phoenix Sword, right? Which lets me create a sword for myself. Like, it creates a Ghostly Gentleman sword, but there's one with your body. So you create a sword that deals 1d10 damage per chi level, so 5d10, plus 2 extra wounds, and it lasts for 1 round per rank of chi. But if you use it cathartic, you get plus 3 wounds, and I think it lasts for 1 hour per rank of chi, so 5 hours. And then I can couple that with Weapon Hunts for Food, any melee parry. You throw your melee weapon at a foe, and it attacks on its own, flying through the air for some time before returning to you, right? So you can throw it for 20 feet per rank of chi, so 100 feet, and it attacks when it returns to your hand. But if you use it cathartically, weapon remains airborne, attacking independently, like each round for 2 rounds plus 1 round per rank of Waija, which I've got 3 in, so 5 rounds. Whilst this is an effect, you may take other actions or attacks. Now, what is cheeky in what I hope is that I could then use Sword Whipping Strike with my regular sword and my Phantom Phoenix sword. And so simultaneously do multiple AoE damages in like a big fucking combat situation.
So there's going to be a small interruption in about 10 minutes, guys, just so you know. But okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to use our Rambo rules. So why don't you make a survival roll for the relevant terrain? And
what terrain would it be? Would it be like
it's wilderness, right?
Yeah.
Does Forge and Shelter have any bonuses in this situation?
No, it wouldn't.
Forage, are you looking for food in this garrison?
Are they looking for a place to take a shit?
What is your goal
Well,
here? Do you
what
just
if we-
want? Do you
what if
just
we
want to
intend on
drop?
eating the general?
Do you just want to drop 2 guys? Basically, that's.
I want to drop 2 guys and take their armor, basically.
Okay. All right. So yeah, make a survival roll.
I got 8 at the highest.
All right. Okay. So let's see here. Here we
Amber.
go. Using survival to go commando. That is the. All right. So you got an 8.
I think going commando these days is not the survivalist route.
Yeah.
You want as much protection down there as you can get in extreme survival situations.
All right. So you can easily do it. Yeah, you can easily do it.
Yeah.
And so you.
And
you
I have sleeping powder that I want to apply to them, basically, is what I'm...
Yeah, so you basically come up behind them and you can just like stuff the sleeping powder in their mouth or something and
I
drop them.
chloroform.
Yeah. And they're both wearing very nice armor.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll slit their throats and I'll strip them and then slit their throats afterwards.
Okay. All right. 1 second. I just gotta grab my pad. I dropped it.
Are you gonna be okay wearing armor with only one leg?
Oh my god, he could take the dead guy's leg and, place it where his one should be, and then
Right.
walk with a limp.
All right. So what are you doing exactly?
So we're gonna take
Dalpang
the
is going
armor.
to cut off the leg of one of the guards that Fuji just killed, and he's going to, use it with the armor, so as to, be able to pass off as a regular person and not a crippled freak.
Well, I've got adaptation of the babe, so I could move like fine. And if I wear an armor, I could kind of just. I don't think I lost a whole leg, so I could.
I know, but how many soldiers do you think there are with one leg?
It depends what type of armor it is. 'Cause
And also, it's not full body armor. Like that wasn't the thing. It'll be like just wearing trousers and like a waist guard type thing, right? Is what.
Yeah.
And do these soldiers have cloaks? Like if we ever get like a cloak, they can drape around themselves to sort of like mask the loss of a leg type of thing.
No. In fact, I'll show you the armor.
No.
Yeah, a cloak that literally extends to the floor and obscures the vision around the feet. Mommy, where's that guy standing on one leg all the time? I don't know. Maybe he's just a weirdo. I'm not weird. I'm just crippled.
All right. Hopefully this link will work. I mean, this is definitely the kind of armor where you could conceal a leg injury.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
It's the kind of armor that comes with a
yeah.
prosthetic leg.
Yeah.
just need to somehow attach like the shoe to the trouser leg of the leg I'm missing.
All right. So who's dressing in the
Peg
armor?
leg. We're both dressing up in the armor.
Okay. All right. So
Is there any penalty for while we're wearing armor, or?
there is a slight penalty. And
Is that to
but
stealth?
also armor's like totally ineffective against kung fu techniques for the most part.
Oh, yeah, that's perfectly fine.
So yeah, you guys are gonna take a speed penalty. You're gonna take a -1d10 to speed.
How easy is it to strip out the armor, though?
To what? Oh, it's pretty.
Dude.
Well, I mean, it's you can look at that. It's gonna take you more than a
Yeah.
round to get out of that stuff.
Okay. I still think it's worth to disguise ourselves and try to make our way through the camp towards the general's tent. What poisons do I have that would be useful here, actually?
Oh, and those guys also had emblems on them, like those emblems that you've seen officials carrying.
Oh, what emblems
But they're
do
like
they have?
really low ranking. It's like an 8B rank emblem.
Oh, cool. So we can have an 8B rank emblem each then.
Okay, I've still got some like that celestial plume laced to cyanide, so you could always just put that at his tent and light it.
Cyanide is most dangerous when it's inhaled as a smoke.
Was celestial plume like? Does it have a noticeable odor?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very fragrant.
pretty dank.
And I've still got like I mean, it would take a while to find actually because I've got those wine gourds with the silken web venom,
Huh?
but that would take too long.
So red venom.
Or it wouldn't take too long, and then we'd challenge him to battle on the day that it's about to take effect, and then his whole army sees him die by like the silken thread venom. We're like, pussy, coward. Sorry.
That's okay. So, are you guys going into the camp?
Yeah.
So what's the speed? What time frame we're looking at for like white cobra venom?
Where did you get that from?
From Iron God Mung.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, when he fed Hellburning Sword to the snakes.
Yeah. Yeah, you asked if you could have some of it.
Yeah, and we milked.
And like you had to do a poison check to make sure you didn't get bitten or anything.
Alright, so... Why is that? For some reason I don't have that written down. Let me just see if it's under something else. Alright, so... So you want to know the lethality rate?
Yeah.
It takes minutes.
Cool. And can I like apply that to a needle?
Yeah, of course.
And
You
it's
make a
just one
poison
needle.
roll
I
to
have-
apply it to the needle?
Performance would that do for?
Yes,
For
that
yeah.
would be appropriate.
And I got a 10.
Alright, so you apply it to the needle. You can apply it to more than one needle if you want.
How many needles can I divide one dose onto?
Oh, like 5.
Okay.
And how do you want to approach the camp?
Mimic their patrol route, I guess. Try to.
Okay. All right. So I mean, you know, the general's tent is clearly marked, but there are 2 guards in front of it.
Mm. But are there like other patrols that go to and from the general's tent, or?
Every once in a while, you see a patrol go in to report to the general. It looks like.
Yeah.
Like every 20 or 30 minutes.
Okay, that technically should be enough time. So can I sort of wait until like one set of reports are done and then
Did you say there's just guards in front of the tent?
there's
Yeah.
2 guards in front of the tent.
Is there any
It also
behind the
seems
tent?
like there may be multiple people inside the tent.
Are there people inside the tent as well?
Probably. You don't know because you can't see inside the tent.
But if there's reports going in, you can almost imagine like a strategy meeting or something. You know?
Oh,
I mean, he's got to sleep at some point.
He does have to sleep at some point, indeed. Maybe worthwhile waiting.
Yeah. Can we try to like get a little bit closer around in the back to see if we can like hear how many people there are, or?
Yeah. Why don't you? What's your stealth? 10.
10, yeah.
All right. So you kind of walk up to the back and you can listen. It sounds like there's, over 15 people inside the tent.
Shit.
Celestial plume. Sounds like a good idea right about now.
I think we'll probably try to see if we can wait until the general goes to bed then.
Okay. How are you going to pass time? Because you just killed 2 patrolmen who won't be reporting.
Yeah.
You lifted their uniforms. Did like they have any pockets or anything with like details of their patrol?
There wasn't anything on there apart from the emblem,
Just
right?
the emblem. That's all they have is the emblem.
Yeah.
Just set fire to the tent.
Actually, that's not a bad idea. Like, if you set fire somewhere else in the camp and cause like a chaos, maybe I can sneak in and try and poison needle the general before.
All right, sounds like a plan. I think camp.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna go to like a part of like the camp a bit further away from here and like set a fire.
Okay, all right, you can do that. How do you want to set fire to it? There are torches around and lanterns. And...
He'll make a nice one, but he can roast marshmallows over.
Oh, what? Do they have like a supply area? Like
yes,
try to burn
they
the
do.
supply?
Yeah, they definitely have supply tents.
Yeah.
But burn the supply tents and escape. I'll tell you to set fire to things and then run for your life, basically, and I'll follow along, and we'll try to meet where the beggars were.
Should I use flaming arrows?
Oh, you have arrows. Yeah.
Good
I
shot.
could always just like get
You could
closer
use
to the
like
canopy.
rain of arrows.
Yeah, rain of fire.
Shit, you can fire several arrows in a 10-foot by 10-foot area per rank of wide jar, right? So that's like 20 feet by 20 feet. Do that like. Oh, if you do it cathartically, you do it your ranks in wide jar plus chi level, 10 foot per. So that would be like 50 by 50, or is it like 10 by 10 blocks, which is still pretty huge.
What's your Y jar, Steve?
2, so it would be 70.
No, he's 70 by
yeah,
70.
yeah.
It's a pretty large concentration.
It would also make them think they're under attack by a large force.
Or one very skilled, martial artist.
Hmm. Yeah, let's do that.
All right, so what you're gonna fire off a bunch of arrows at the tents?
Yes.
Are you're gonna light the arrows?
Yes.
All right, so how big of an area are you covering?
Let's go for the full 70 by 70.
All right, so
Around the storage, or?
Yeah.
you can get like
and
5 tents
around.
with that.
And then maybe like take another shot off at some more tents in a different direction.
All right, so you can probably get about 10 tents total this way.
All right, cool.
Okay, why don't you make 2 attack rolls, because this is going to be in quick succession.
Yeah.
And I'll be lingering near the general's tent to try and.
Catch him unawares.
I got 6 on the first one. And a 9 on the second.
All right, so the first one starts going up. And wait, what'd you get in the first one again?
6.
And what'd you get in the second one?
9.
Okay. All right, so they start going up, and can you just make the damage roll? I just want to see something, and add a D10 to the damage rolls for the flame.
Okay.
What's the climate been like recently?
That's right.
It's been
Got a 10 on the first one.
okay. All right. It's been warm. So the first one just bursts into flames.
And a 9 on the second.
All right. The other one catches on fire, but it's not as engulfed as the first one. And
You
so-
hit just the sweet spot with the first set of tents.
And immediately, Kenny, you hear all kinds of commotion in that tent, and like 8 guys leave and start running in the direction of the flaming tent. And a few moments later, that other tent combusts, and you hear more commotion inside the tent.
And
No.
I'm gonna wait a couple of minutes longer
Okay.
to see if there's any more movement.
All right. So,
I'm assuming the general. I can still hear the general inside, right?
yeah. Well, the general actually steps out, and next to him is a woman who looks like she's probably Kai Lin, and he sort of looks over at both of the tents, and he starts barking commands to his men, and then he looks over. Are you visible, or are you like hide? Like are you just?
I was hiding. Yeah.
Okay, so you're not even trying to look like a soldier that's just out and about.
No.
You're hiding.
Yeah.
Okay.
So is he within range of a finger flick?
He would be, yes.
All right. So I'm gonna do the thing where I spend a round to focus and prepare to flick 2 objects in 2 separate attacks with a finger flick. Then and I'll do it cathartically.
All right. All right. He does not seem to notice you during that time, and he's issuing commands, and the woman doesn't seem to either. Can you make an attack roll?
Yep. So that's light. So these are the needles coated in the white cobra venom.
And you're attacking him with them?
Well, it's two separate attacks. I might. Is that Borga?
You don't know.
Was there any mention? Was there any mention of a name?
There was a mention of Borga and Borte earlier to you, but not. You don't know who this one is.
Not specifically who this one is. Okay. No, I'm just gonna focus entirely on the general. So I'll get fire 2 needles off at him.
Okay. All right, this is surprise.
I got 8 against parry. I assume it doesn't say what it's against.
It should be evade. It should be evade.
Evade, yeah.
All right, so the first one hits him. The second one he can try to counter, but make an attack roll for that one.
Okay. Do I make the attack roll or do the damage roll first for the first one?
Just make the attack roll, then we'll deal with the damage rolls.
Okay. What's my technique? Okay. And I got a 10 on the second needle.
All right, so let me see if he's able to dodge. All right, he does. He whirling dodges the second one.
All right.
But the first one hits him, so can you roll damage?
All right. 1d10 open damage for a rank of Chi.
All right.
Uh, 9, 9, 7, 5, 4.
All right. So you see a spray of blood when these hit him, and can you roll 4d10 for the effect of the poison?
I got an 8 at the highest.
All right. Okay, so he kneels on the ground and starts clutching his throat, and he starts turning purple. And let's see how long this guy's got. All right. And he looks at the woman and he says, "Poison!" And now you've attacked, so you're visible at this point. And he points at you, and she runs at you, Kenny. Can you make a speed roll?
Yep. So -1, right? Because of the armor. Or does that only count for movement? Does it count for my combat speed
it
as
comes
well?
for combat, yeah.
Okay. I got a 5.
All right, so she's gonna catch up to you before you can do anything, and then you'll be able to do whatever you want.
Yep.
All right, and she attacks you with storming daggers.
Ooh. Ooh.
This could be bad.
She got a 10 on the.
This is very bad.
So my option here is deflecting canopy cathartically.
Yes. You definitely wanna successfully roll that.
So TNA, come on. I got 9.
So did you succeed?
Yes.
All right. Does that stop the attack entirely?
It stops the attack, and I get to deflect all the projectiles at a single target of my choice, each one dealing 1d10 damage.
Okay.
So they all go towards the general.
All right.
I think you only roll 1d10 to determine damage, though, don't you?
But it's each projectile, so I don't know how many storming daggers she's doing.
She's throwing 8 daggers at you.
So each one of those is going at the general for 1d10 damage.
Okay.
I think does the way that work is that you roll 1d10 and that's the damage for all of them. So if you succeed, it deals 8 wounds, but if you fail, it deals like
no,
none.
it's 1d10. It's 1d10 for each of them.
Cool.
The rules as written is you direct each projectile at a single target of your choice, each dealing 1d10 damage.
Cool.
So,
Damn.
oh shit. All right. Oh my god. All right. So the daggers just slice through him, and she looks back in terror. She sort of realizes like that her own daggers have been used, and he drops to the ground. He's not dead, but he's gurgling in purple at this point. And she she just screams, "Get him!" And many of the soldiers begin taking note of you, Kenny.
While she's still in range, I'm just gonna say to her, this ploy was brought to you, sponsored by the corpse of Sun Mai, the remains of Sun Mai.
You see a flash of recognition cross over her face when you say that.
And I'll say, and I also say, the winds of fate are not with the Empire. When Sun Mai returns, all before him shall fade to nothingness. And I'll try to run away.
Okay. All right. Can you make a speed roll, Kenny?
Can I strip? I'll strip myself of the armor, actually, to increase
make
my
an
speed.
athletics roll to strip the armor off it.
Alright.
Oh my god.
I got a 10 and a 9.
All right. So you rip the
Oh
armor
my god,
off.
you do it sticker style.
You grab the crotch from your trousers and just rip them off.
Do you have any evasive techniques, Kenny?
Whirling dodge?
No, I mean like quick stride or leap of the
Oh,
swan.
no.
All right, make a speed roll.
I got a 5.
All right. Okay, so what's your evade?
It is 5.
All right, so you can just hear arrows whizzing at you. And 4 are going to successfully be hitting you, unless you want to. Now, keep in mind you're running away, so you're getting distance from them. But if you stop to evade,
Yeah. I'm gonna let them hit me.
All right,
I have 8 hardiness.
all right. All right, you take 4 wounds. And it's because one of them hit you particularly good. It got you in the upper chest area. Steven, what are you doing?
I would have stripped off my armor after I'd gotten into the canopy kind of area and been working my way kind of closer to where I left Kenny.
All right, so you just probably see Kenny running towards you at full speed at this point, and there's just a number of men firing volleys of arrows at him.
I will use rain of arrows on those guys.
Okay.
Or storm. Remember which one?
All right.
Storm.
Storm of arrows.
Make an attack roll.
Oh, I got a 10.
Nice. No imbalance.
All right. How big of an area does that hit?
70 by 70.
All right, so you can get a good chunk of guys with that. Make a damage roll.
And I got an 8 at the highest.
All
Did you add a D10 for the...
Is that normal damage to everybody affected?
Yes, normal damage.
All right, so these guys, you drop 20 guys from that attack. And Kenny, can I get another speed roll from you?
I really need a speed technique. I seem to be getting myself in these situations.
Yeah,
quite
great
often.
stride would be a perfect technique for the kinds of things you like.
I got an 8 and a 1, so 8 at the highest.
All right, so Kenny reaches you, Steve, and he's got some distance on them, but you probably want to start running with him too.
Yeah. Let's run.
All right, can I get speed rolls from both of you?
I got 5.
Hold on 1 second, guys.
Yep.
Nice.
I got a 9 there. Can we escape from the encampment of 15,000 people after having slain their general?
Guys, I want to imagine that this is the time where Boris Drunken Sword shows up.
If only. That would be epic.
I don't think it will be, though, because I've still got to deal with Longmire Hall.
Yeah.
Unless it swaps to Longmire Hall, right now.
In the middle of the chase scene, we cut to a peaceful treaty negotiation with Boris Drunken Sword and
and then the survival roll, and then you guys arrive just in the nick of time as the camp is like completely going crazy and blah blah blah. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it could work, but
Are you okay there, Adam? You seem to be having like a massive sunbeam in your eye.
yeah, honestly, I'm worried you're gonna
I mean,
melt.
I'm fine. I think it just looks brighter on camera, but no, I mainly have
so bright.
I've just got a bad cold at the moment. My sinuses just really hurt. So that's the main. It's not the sun bothering me. It's just the sinus pain.
Like-
so.
It looks so bright that if you're a vampire, you would disintegrate in a matter of minutes.
Here, I'll adjust the lighting here.
It's obnoxiously bright. It's dark here.
It's almost
There you go.
midnight.
I only got like 2 hours of sunlight left here. Don't worry about it. But let's see. Oh, that didn't help. Hang on. No.
Well, it did actually. Your skin
Is it
doesn't
allergies
look like
or
milk
just a
anymore.
cold that you have?
It's a cold. I had like a sore throat yesterday. I got over the sore throat, but it's still kind of hanging out in my nose a bit. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I figure I'll probably be better tomorrow. I'm mainly just really tired from it. I just want to sleep.
I apologize. My bookshelf arrived, and I had to go grab it from the front door.
Alright.
Fair enough.
It was a lot heavier than I thought it would be. So, all right. So, what did you guys get in your speed rolls?
5.
I got a 9.
All right. And also, Steven, can you roll me a d10?
Oh. 8.
All right. Okay. All right. So,
I was saying, Brendan, now would be a perfect time for Boris Drunken Sword to show up with an army, but
ew. It would be. I agree.
Give us that Deus Ex Machina.
But we've established too many temporal things about
No.
Boris Drunken Sword, unfortunately.
that's how we'll take down the Empire. We'll just destroy the entire universe with like time conflicts and stuff.
Can I get one
There
more
you go.
speed roll for both of you guys?
Paradox.
Speed roll. Oh, got a 9 again.
Did you
That's
speed
fine.
roll?
I got 3.
All right. Okay, so you start lagging behind Steven. And they do start catching up a little bit, so I need another roll. And Kenny, I don't need one from you. What'd you get?
Okay.
9.
All right. So you escape from them, and where are you guys heading after this?
Towards the beggar, towards the rendezvous point with the rest of the beggar ambush.
All right. So I'm gonna go to Elliot, and then I'll get back to all of you guys at the rendezvous point. So Elliot, you've arrived at Longmaw Hall.
Yeah.
And so, you go in there with Gao Kong, and do you want to speak to King Archer directly? What was your plan?
Yeah. I'll be going in without a hat or anything.
All right. So King Archer once again greets you in his garden, and again he's the really old man, and he says, "You're back soon."
I am indeed.
He says, "I hope you haven't."
An alliance. Pardon?
He says, "I hope you're not here to back out of our agreement."
Absolutely not. At the moment, an alliance has been formed. I am a part of it, and we are seeking to strike back at the Empire, as you know. And we're passing through to try and kill a general, and he has a large army with him. They're located at the Flying Dragon Fortress, or around there.
He says, "I thought Lady 87 was working with the Empire. Why are you? What? Is this some sort of trick?"
That's all a bit in the past now. I, in my brash ways, attacked a official of the Empire and brought across their ire. You see, he was trying to sow dissent and disharmony amongst my friend and his family, and I was seeking to protect them. I reported this back to the 87 killers, and I was basically discerned. They tried to kill me. Either way, from that point on, I swore that I'd strike back at the Empire. Since then, I've been possessed by a chi spirit that gave me compassion, and I've been thinking about some of my actions in the past. I point to my scalp, and I go, this was done by your men, but there were plenty of actions that I took against yours that could be seen as despicable. I apologize for those. We're going to go and fight for General. Can we count on your aid?
He says, I have 210 disciples. I shall send them with you.
I appreciate your assistance.
He says, and,
do you also have any good wine?
Some things never change.
I will bring you some good wine as well. And Yao Shan Hu will lead the men.
Excellent. Thank you for your assistance. We'll depart immediately. I fear my friends may need our assistance soon.
All right. So you guys now have a large force of 210 like martial people. Let me see if these are actually.
If each of them could use storming arrows.
So yeah, these I mean they're low rank martial heroes, but still counts. You guys have martial heroes 210 with you.
Oh boy.
So all right. So you guys start marching down. You don't even need to roll for this. You guys are gonna make it to Flying Dragon Fortress within what is it?
If we've got scouts, I'll send them to check ahead a bit and stuff, and see if like anybody's made movements out from the fortress or around or attacks or anything like that. Just to see if we can better maneuver ourselves so we don't march the entire force.
So then the information that the general was heading to Mai Chun will reach you.
Okay, I'll start diverting my course like towards there.
All right.
With all the troops.
All right. So the thing is, you're going to probably. Let me see how many days has it been? All right. So they won't be there when you get there, but presumably you guys would still be there, right?
What do you mean?
No, I'm just trying to think because I'm just trying to square the time difference between the two groups. All right, so you make it to Mai Chun, and you guys can see Boris Drunken Sword leading like 210 Long Mahal people,
and also those from Blue Clouds.
And he's got Gao Kong and what's her name again? What is it? Invincible Cloud?
I think something like that.
He's Invincible Cloud, and she is Laughing Wind.
Laughing Wind. Okay, Invincible Cloud.
So we're sort of like we wouldn't be in Mai Chun, I think. Like after we sort of did the assassination outside Gao Chun, and we'll probably be sort of meeting up sort of halfway between Gao Chun and Mai Chun is where we sort of decided the ambush with.
That's the place that I mean.
Yeah.
I mean when he's basically getting to the ambush site that the general would have come to.
Yeah.
Boss, it's good to see you.
Wu Ji, it's good to see you too. 1 second. I've also learned something called restraint recently. Not fond of it.
As long as the restraint doesn't stop you from drinking your wine, then it can't be a bad thing.
It just means that sometimes I have to prolong it for a few hours to do some busy work. All right. What's the situation? I was told to come here and assist. I've brought some forces.
Oh no, then and say we have assassinated the general. Like, but based on my medical skills, and knowledge in poison, a guy who's been like lacerated by daggers and with a lethal dose of poison in like a in a fatal point would probably be dead, right? Like,
you would assume, but I mean, you don't have confirmation, so you don't know. But it's he was definitely on a trajectory towards death, and and that has a kill time that's like minutes. So he didn't have a lot of time either.
I'll say,
They just happened to have the antidote with them, which is unlikely.
I'll say, excellent work, Wuji. But what of the army? Are they still around?
Are the army still around? What happened to the army after we escaped?
Well, they presumably didn't continue going to Mai Chun.
Yeah.
Are they still
you
reforming?
didn't see the army on your way here.
So, may they still be around Galchun, or
they probably returned to the Flying Dragon Fortress to report to the Emperor.
I suggest we try an assault. They've got 15,000 men. How long ago was it that they started their retreat? We could potentially still catch them.
I don't know. How long has it been since the retreat, Brendan?
So it's probably been about a day. You've probably been here for about a day.
So then the attack was like yesterday. So they at best started their retreat today, and they're a force of 15,000.
So Yao Shan Hu says
the Flying Dragon Fortress. What kind of like fortifications does it have?
It's got a wall.
It's on the hill.
It's got a wall, and then
does it have like a gate or anything like that?
Yeah, it's got many gates.
Cool. I
Just a
can't say a
single
sex
wall,
machina of this, but I'd fucking love to. But could I possibly request that some fast people from Longmar Hall go to try and occupy the Flying Dragon Flying Dragon garrison before...
But bear in mind, there are still like 20,000 people in that live at Flying Dragon Fortress as well.
In which case,
15,000, like it's just the soldiers. There's still like a community of people there.
And
Right.
Shan
And if
Hu
King
says-
has taught you
are they
anything,
martial heroes?
what was that?
Sorry, I had a bit of a disconnect. Are they martial heroes, the citizens inside of the garrison?
You don't know. You would assume they have some martial heroes, but Yao Shan Hu says 15,000 is a lot of men for us to take.
Yes, and we have accomplished our primary objective of assassinating the general. There is a chance that he may be alive, but it is unlikely. He was stabbed with 8 daggers and poisoned with a venom that is not found in these regions. I don't know. Was the white cobra like a rare thing, or is it like a...
Yeah, that was rare.
Yeah, it's poisoned with venom that was not found in these areas.
That may be true, but he probably has subordinates, and those subordinates will want to report back to the Empire. And the longer the Empire needs to wait for any information here, the better our sabotage is in this area. Surely we want to do things thoroughly. Now, it would not be prudent, sure, to try and take on all 15,000. But perhaps if we could, force them out of their garrison, make them continuously have to march, we could starve them, we could dilapidate their forces, and we could attack their leaders and stop them from communicating back to the Empire. We have forces enough to be able to do this. We could ambush them at different times. We could set up blockades on their path. They're a large force, so maneuvering for them is much more difficult than us. We could use our heads.
The beggar chief sort of raises up his spear and says, "Yes, we will do all of this."
I just say that's a good idea. We should monitor all the routes towards where would the Emperor be? Are we north or
He's north.
south?
Yeah, he's like in Nansoon. He's pretty far north.
Like anybody trying to send a fast message along the road will have to pass through Tongan, right?
Yes.
Yeah, or in theory, unless they go through the wilderness, right? So as long as we keep the make sure that no messengers make it through Longmar Hall territory, and the beggars that can make sure that the Daguan and Daoshu are clear as well, then we should be able to stop any news leaking too soon.
That'd be good. In the meantime, I think it would be prudent to try and get some separate teams of like martial heroes and stuff from like the Longmar Hall and send them off to create sabotages on the army's path back to the Flying Dragon garrison. So, for example, cutting down trees or something like that, setting fires possibly, hiding out in forests and firing lots and lots of arrows, when the army approaches before retreating, just wasting their time in things whilst we try and make sure that we can stop their return to the garrison and hopefully take out some officers as well. Does that sound cool?
Yeah, I mean, we can have the the Longmar Hall people can see if they can ambush them, like not engage in full, but like fire off a couple of volleys.
Tactics.
Yeah,
they've shown they can do that before on us.
Yeah, yes, they have used similar tactics on us before.
Yeah.
What does was it who was the leader of the Longmar Hall disciples?
Yao Shanhu.
Yan Shanhu, what do you think? Would you and your men be able to harass the retreating army and without engaging them?
Yes, if we leave immediately.
Please do.
She nods and she commands her men, and they head out. And I'm gonna end it here. Go ahead.
I'll start going with them as well. I think my best place would be taking part in this. Wuji, Zhao Fang. You're two of the most capable people that I know. And Ping, I've been constantly impressed by you. I shudder a bit. His emotions and you. Either way. I'd hoped to kill the general, but I see that you took that honor, Wuji. I, however, still feel the need to make some of these reprehensible degenerates pay for the actions they took at that poor city. And I'll start going off with the Longmar Hall, soldiers and stuff. I've